Welcome back to the All Hazards Prepper Show. This is a situational update for the last week in May. Crazy that it's already the last week in May here. We're already getting into summertime, which is one of my favorite times of the year. I love the beach and warmer weather. I don't really favor high humidity and crazy temperatures, but I'll deal with it. I'd rather be hot than cold. But anyway, super glad that you've joined us here. Again, this is the situational update, so this is shot from my truck on the way to work here on this Wednesday. So hope everyone is having a safe and good week out there. Today, the biggest thing that I see as the all hazards prepper that's going on in the world is the weather. The weather is quite crazy today, or not today, but the past couple of weeks, we have seen some crazy tornadoes come out of the Midwest, even into the East Coast. Just on, was it Saturday? I think it was Saturday. The tornadoes that affected Kentucky. I was listening to the police scanners from up that area. Crazy what the first responders were all having to deal with. I just cannot stress enough the importance of preparedness and having a plan when it comes to tornadoes. We're getting into hurricane season as well, so if you're going to become a prepper, today, in today's world, is the best time to become a prepper, in my opinion. Not only just due to the current events that's going on in the world, but due to the weather. You really need to have those basic resources that I talk about and preach about, and I will continue to preach about, on hand, and you need to have a plan on where to go during a tornado watch and a warning. I'm going to put out something today talking a little bit about, storm shelter locations. If you don't know what a storm shelter location is, it's really a FEMA term, so it's not everyone has a true storm shelter in their house, but having somewhere to go, during a tornado, an interior room in your home, in wherever you're living. If you're in a mobile home, I suggest just leaving. Mobile homes are not good for tornadoes. So I suggest, going to a family or friend's house or going somewhere else that's a little bit more sustainable. But just knowing where to go inside your home, that interior room, no windows, no exterior walls like a closet, or if you have a basement, basements are probably the best place you could go. Getting the lowest floor possible, and making sure that you have some of your preps in there. If you have an interior closet or storage room or bathroom or something, that might be a good place to store your preps. And store, some of the things that you need to handle a tornado. You don't need all your preps all in one room necessarily. You can kind of spread them out. And so having that location identified beforehand is key. A lot of people, tornado occurs and then they go, or the tornado watch comes out from the National Weather Service. Your phone's going off and everything, and then they're going, where should I go? No, you should already have that identified, and really think about that beforehand. As a prepper, as an emergency manager, I'm always thinking about what's going on in the world, where I am, where I'm going to go, my escape routes, things like that. No matter where I am, if I go to a movie or a concert or something, that's the first thing I look at is, how am I going to get out of there? Where am I going to go if severe weather hits? Stuff like that. So you really got to have that mindset, going back to that prepper mindset that we talk about here on the All Hazards Prepper. So make sure that you have that storm shelter identified, within your home. Have a plan. A lot of people don't think about this, but if you have a bike helmet, putting on a bike helmet and some safety glasses is really good, especially if you have kids. Most kids have bike helmets. Putting it on them during that tornado warning, telling them to go in there, that kind of gives you some extra protection. And then doing that duck cover and hold. I work as an emergency manager in the schools, so I preach the duck cover and hold a lot. To kids and stuff. So just doing that against that wall in that interior room is going to be key. So as we're getting in that we're still in tornado season. It depends on where you're at in the U.S., but tornadoes they're going to occur over the summer. They can occur into the fall. As we get into hurricane season, tornadoes can certainly occur when a hurricane or tropical storm is impacting you. So making sure that's one of the big hazards that occurs in the weather, one of the most destructive hazards. So that way, making sure you have that plan and those resources to tackle tornadoes. Like I said, we're about to get in hurricane season. June 1st is the official start date of hurricane season. I am a weather geek. If you do not know that, I love the weather. If I could have been a meteorologist and I could have passed my math courses, I probably would have been a meteorologist, but I went into the political science route of it to become an emergency manager. But anyway, I love watching the weather. I love watching other people talk about the weather. So be on the lookout for me. I'm going to share a few guys that I follow. I've already shouted out a couple of them, but that way you can have some other places if you're a weather geek like me, or just want to know, more about hurricanes and what's happening, or more of a long range. A lot of times the National Hurricane Center or your local weather service office, it's all kind of not short range, but whenever we kind of know something's happened. If you want to talk, learn about the environmental conditions, or see what's going on a long range forecasts. Some of these weather geeks or pages are really good to follow. So I'll be putting those out over the next couple of weeks. But as we're getting into hurricane season, making sure that you have your hurricane preps completed beforehand. Do not start prepping as the hurricane is forecasted and called. Do not start prepping as soon as your local news says, okay, in 3 days we're going to have a Cat 3 or Cat 5 or something like that. Surely hope don't want a Cat 5, but hurricane coming up, and going to the store, because I can promise you already the store's going to be overrun. You need to have your stuff done beforehand, and you need to have a plan on where to go, your evacuation routes. If you need to evacuate to somewhere, especially if you live on a coastal region, somewhere in the Gulf or up and down the eastern seaboard, even up and down the western seaboard, if you're listening to us in the western states, up in California or something. So making sure that you have that plan in place for hurricane season is key. So that's kind of my big rant for today, if you call it. Other things that are going on here on the All Hazards Prepper, the shows have changed. We are going to start putting those out on Mondays at 6 a.m. instead of Fridays. I feel like that's probably a better day for people that are commuting and want to listen to the show throughout the week, or dial in. So shows will now be produced at 6 a.m. on Mondays. We are on Spotify, Apple Music. We are now, exciting news, we are on Amazon Music. So if you use Amazon Music, we are on there. And we are on YouTube now. I have set it up where you can even listen to it on YouTube as well. So I think that's all the platforms that I could possibly use. If you use a platform and you're having difficulty getting to the All Hazard Prepper Show, let me know, and let me see how I could put it on a different platform for you as well. Other exciting news. So next week we're going to be covering the topic of insurance on the All Hazard Prepper Show, and talking about that throughout the week. Insurance is key. I have someone that's been through a hurricane. Going to be on here on the North Carolina coast and talk about their and I think they possibly have worked in insurance as well, and talk about the why insurance is needed as a prepper, and talking about some of the ways you can prepare financially and through insurance before a disaster occurs. So super excited to talk about that. What else is going on the All Hazards Prepper? We are working on a website. It's kind of long range, but we are working on a website. I am working on a listserv, on an email serve. If people still use those, I think people still do. So working on that as well. We've got a lot of exciting things going on. Still waiting to hear back. I know I talked about it a few weeks ago that we had applied to become a LLC through our state. So still waiting to hear back from the government on that. But super excited on that as well. And we'll announce that whenever some more information on that whenever we get there. That's kind of what's going on the All Hazards Prepper. We're still looking at other ways to get out and to the communities. And if you want to be on the show, if you are a prepper, if you work in the emergency services field, if you're a meteorologist or a natural scientist or something, or have some interest or stake in prepping, please let me know. Shoot me a direct message, shoot me an email. Super glad to have you on. I'm kind of booked up the next few weeks, but we will try to get you on at some point soon. So that's kind of what's going on in the All Hazards Prepper. I hope everyone stays safe out there. Again, cannot preach enough. Make sure that you're prepared for the tornado season that we're in and the upcoming hurricane season. It's it's projected to be a pretty bad hurricane season, but it only takes one. So that way you need to make sure that you have your preps and your plans in place beforehand. Have a safe week out there. The All Hazard Prepper out.